All right, guys, welcome to another live stream. Welcome to another live stream. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. All right, so financial regrets over 80. Financial regrets over 80. I found this article on the Wall Street Journal. I actually just recently signed back up for the Wall Street Journal. For those of you who don't know, the Wall Street Journal gives out a lot of promotional sign-ups, so like close to the new year and things like that. You'll get like a dollar. You only pay like $1.99 for like the first 6 months, and then after that, it's like $38 a month. So I typically sign up for those because it's cheap to keep up, and the Wall Street Journal is pretty good. Um, and I think I did keep it for a little bit after the 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 promotional period was up. So I did pay the $38 I think last year, but then I got rid of it because I think most of it you could find on Yahoo Finance, but there are some interesting articles on the Wall Street Journal that you can use to just get financially ahead or just be in touch financially on what's going on in the world. So uh, this was one of the articles that I saw. I saved it because I wanted to share it. It's titled "The Financial Regrets and Wisdom of Americans Over 80." Um, it says there's a lot of life to live after the traditional retirement age that many wish they had prepared for. So basically, this article, it's centered around this lady that she thought she had enough money to retire, but I guess she didn't believe that she would live that long, and didn't plan to have that much money. So it says Sue Jones thought she had more than enough money to live on when she was in her 50s. She wasn't counting on living to her 90s. Right? Most of us probably think we're going to last until, maybe late 70s, early 80s and things like that. But not many people last until they're like 90, right? Or even in their 80s. So, and I'm pretty sure if you last that long, your body is probably breaking down a lot more. And you are, your medical expenses are going to be a lot more costly. So it says the 91-year-old resident of Lewisburg, Tennessee, and her late husband, Ewell Jones, saved about $50,000 in retirement account in addition to its roughly $2,900 a month pension and Social Security. So they got $2,900 every month for Social Security in their pension. It says her income no longer covers her rising bills. She was in and out of the hospital several times this year, racking up medical bills and prescription drug copays. So this is very important, actually. You definitely you want to plan for the traditional retirement. Again, most people last until they're like 75. So you probably want to prepare up until then. But I'm not sure if, again, she said that her Social Security was not enough for the rising bill. So it's not like her Social Security got cut off. It was just that her Social Security was not enough, right? Because again, medically, she was in and out of the hospital, probably breaking bones left and right, and it wasn't enough to cover her medical bills, right? She said, "I plan to die at a more normal age, but that's not what God had in store." So this just says that you basically need to prepare for the unthinkable, right? Um, not only living into your 90, but you also need to prepare for things that are just unexpected, right? I think that's what you could get out of this article. It's not only preparing to live an extra 10 or 20 years, but you may have some type of emergency that comes out of nowhere, right? I remember in my college days, I had a lot of emergencies when it came to my car. And, for the most part, I always had the money and things like that, but there would be times where my car would just be out of commission, right? And then I would have to get rides and stuff from work. So you want to make sure that you do build up an somewhat of a type of emergency savings. I know it's probably hard to save 3 to 6 months for the average person, and that's typically what people say. They say you should have like 3 to 6 months. But I think in the beginning of your career, it's going to be hard to save that, right? Most people are making now I would say before it was probably like 30 to 50, but the average, salary is probably around 60 to 65 if you're coming out of college. So let's just say take 6 months. 6 months would be, let's just say 2 grand. So, $12,000. In my opinion, I don't think that's too hard to save up. But again, most people don't have $1,000 saved. So it's gonna be a hard task to do. But again, you should be preparing for all types of emergencies, right? You'll have medical emergencies, car emergencies. Maybe you have a kid or a dog or whatever the case is. You need to be preparing for those situations, right? All right. So it says these days there's a lot of life to live after the traditional retirement age, and they don't say the traditional retirement age, but I think right around 62. The average American life expectancy at birth is nearing 80 years, according to the World Bank. That is almost a decade longer than it was when people approaching 65 were born. Um, some make it a lot longer. So okay, so that is almost a decade longer than it was when people approached 60. Okay, so typically they're saying it's 75 years old, but now it's, closer to 80, right? Some make it a longer. It's scrambling the calculations about how to budget and how to splurge. What people plan for at 50 years old often isn't how life plays out over the following decades. Among roughly 15 octogenarians, I don't know if I said that right, and non-Nigerians interviewed by The Wall, and I probably mispronounced it, by the Wall Street Journal, some say they regret not saving more. Some say they regret not saving more. Some say they regret not spending enough on themselves. Some wish they had planned for a business closure, how to spend newfound free time, or how to handle a late in life divorce. And now, honestly, I think that is the miscalculation. Most people underestimate how much they're going to spend in their retirement years. Because again, if you're retired, for me, you want to be traveling, you want to be going all over the world. At least I do. I want to be traveling. I want to be, basically be able to do what I want to do. If I want to wake up and fly to New York and just spend the day and have lunch and just do something like that, I want to be able to do it. So, I think the safest thing to do is kind of look at what you're going to need on a monthly basis and double that. Now, some might say, oh, it's just too much. But no, I think you just need to be realistic about what you're going to need in retirement to get through. Most of people say $5,000 is good enough for retirement. And I don't think I think 5,000 is good. I think you can make it out, but I think you're going to need a lot more money, right? For me, 5,000, and if let's say you didn't have a house paid off and you were still paying some type of mortgage, $5,000 a month, let's just say 2,500 is going to rent, and now you only have 2,500 left, right? Then you got to account for food, which would probably be another 500 to 1,000, depending on if you go out to eat and stuff like that. You buy groceries, so on and so forth, and that may be, and who knows if you're just counting for yourself. You may have somebody else in your house that you need to account for that is going to raise the bill, right? So you need to really think about, okay, is this really the amount of money I'm going to need to be able to retire the way I want to retire? And I feel like every year that goes by, the amount goes up. And the reason being is because things are just getting a lot more expensive. You go to the grocery store, food is just increasing in price. I don't eat cereal now, but a box of cereal is it's close to $10 for a box of cereal, right? I don't drink milk, but the milk has gone up. Eggs, $8 to $10 for eggs. Water itself has gone up in price. So everything's going up in price. So the reason why every year I feel like you're going to just need a lot more money for retirement is because everything's going up in price. Rent almost goes up like $100 to $200 a year in price, and I'm not sure how that's the case. Sometimes it doesn't go up as much, and I guess I've only seen it where it's gone up, right? Because where I live, downtown, and the rents have only gone up since I've been here. Now there may be a period because I guess I haven't been renting for that long. I've been renting for like 6 to 7 years, but that, I mean, for me that's a pretty long time. But maybe there's a period where we all like it resets and then it goes down in price. But for the most part, since I've been renting, rent has only gone up in price, and it's not like small increases. It's like 150 to $200 a month, right? So like an additional $2,000 to $3,000 a year in rent increases, right? Haircuts, people are charging more for haircuts. Car, gas prices are going up. What else? Yeah, I lease my vehicle, and my vehicle has gone up in price. Like now, I think in the beginning it was like 370. Then when I did my second lease, it was like 420. And then when I did, this recent lease that I did, it's like 560, right? So it's like 80, 100 and stuff. Now I do get good deals on the lease because I get trade in and all this other stuff, but it's still getting expensive. So yeah, I read this article, and it just shows that you need to be prepared not only if you live like 5 to 10 years more in your later years, but I think you just need to prepare in general for increasing prices. Prices are increasing each and every day, and that's why when I go to I usually like visit my college that I went to college at, every now and then just to pass by the campus and stuff. And if I see students there, I always ask like, what major are you guys in? And a lot of it's like communication, psychology, and stuff like that. I'm not saying you can't make money in those spaces, but really it's hard to make money in those spaces. You come out with way more debt than what you're going to get paid. And even me, like having a degree in finance, I didn't get paid much coming out. I think I started at $36,000 a year. And at the time, this was back in 2015, 2016. At the time, it was really good money. But now you get paid $36,000, you're, basically poor, right? So, yeah, you just got to account for prices going up, and make sure, it aligns with the lifestyle you want to live as you retire, quote unquote retire, or maybe you just don't do corporate anymore, whatever your version of retire is. You got to make sure you have some money to live the way you want to live. All right, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.